Kalua pig. It's juicy and smoky and one of the iconic Hawaiian dishes. We are going to take you through the whole process of how to make an authentic homemade recipe. Watch popular Hawaii recipes and more playlists on Eat and Be Eaten by clicking subscribe. Aloha! On our channel, we are on a journey to discover everything we can about the food and food culture of Hawaii. Check out our videos on huli chicken, ina mona, and more. Now, back to the pork. Kalua pig is Hawaii's version of barbecue pork. Like barbacoa in Mexico or pulled pork in the southern US, it gets shredded up as a side or put into all kinds of main dishes. The usual way to make it is on the stovetop in a slow cooker using liquid smoke to give the barbecue flavor. Here at Ippy's on the Big Island, Hannah's having a sandwich. It's also common to see Kalua pork tacos or quesadillas on burgers with cabbage, etc. Kalua means to bake in a ground oven, also to bury or a pit. So when you say Kalua pork, you mean a pig cooked underground. This style of cooking is one of the most ancient in the world. Today, the Pacific is still the most common region where these techniques are used. In Hawaiian, the underground oven is called an imu. In Samoa, the umu is very similar, but usually the meat and vegetables are cooked above ground. The basic idea is to simultaneously smoke and steam the meat, so the pork comes out with the texture of pulled pork and the flavor of barbecue. We're headed over to my father-in-law's house in Honoka'a to make a Christmas imu. The pit we're digging is about 4 feet deep and 10 feet across, enough for a bunch of families to put food in. There's a third definition of Kalua as well: embracing the whole process. Click the link in the upper right corner to see a video we made last year hunting and butchering wild pigs. We made Portuguese sausages and also hung the legs to make hams.
You drop them first, then you cut the top.
One of the key ingredients in making an imu are banana stalks. They provide the necessary moisture inside the pit so the food doesn't turn into char.
Oh, right on the banks. Yeah. Why you guys don't come help so I don't destroy my yard?
Use a machete to slice them in half and then bust them up so all the layers come apart. Once you've done that, it's time to set the pit with firewood. The stones have got to be porous so they don't explode. We got these from the Wailoa River in Waipio Valley.
Bottom a little low right here.
Tea leaf is one of the most important plants in Hawaiian culture, and they're fundamental to any imu.
Banana gives the moisture so the food don't burn. You regulate the imu by the banana. And the tea leaf gives it the flavor. The burnt tea leaf makes the flavor. One more. So pretty!
In addition to the pig, we're putting whole fish, chickens, kalo root, and sweet potatoes too. Whenever we do an emu, it always makes me think about Kilauea down south and the pit at Halema'uma'u. One of the first videos we ever did on this channel was roasting a whole pig in a Lakaja china box. It's similar to an emu, kind of like an above ground version, but you got to make sure to create lots of moisture inside. What we did was more of a dry roast. But yeah, that's another alternative to create a similar result. Alright, let's get back to the final stage of our emu. After a full afternoon of smoldering, it's time to snuff out the fire with your banana stalks. Then, you layer all the food on top and cover it with the tea leaf.
My God!
Get a cooler full of sheets and soak them so they're totally wet, and then you're going to cover the entire emu with those, and finally a plastic tarp on top of that. Then you bury the edges in the ditch, soak that again with a hose, and you're ready to let the emu go all night, and you'll see it again in the morning.
I was like, that's Lewis's genes coming out.
Yeah. You gotta watch them, they're funny, you know.
They're funny. Aww.
Because she's doing so well.
That's good.
That's what it's all about. Better. And then making different things better.
Huli huli chicken is one of the most popular foods ever in Hawaii. The flavor of the wood smoke, the savory sweet sauce, open flames licking at the chickens. We are looking to learn from the best and see if we can perfect a homemade recipe. Subscribe for popular Hawaii recipes and more playlists on Eat and Be Eaten. Aloha. Welcome to Waimea, a ranching town on the north side of the Big Island. It sits at 3,000 feet, right in the foothills of Mauna Kea. This is GJ's. They've been making huli chicken kohala side for years. They're a fixture here. You can spot them by the plumes of blue smoke billowing across the highway on Saturdays and Sundays.
Okay, this is one of the best huli huli chicken spots around. Let's get some and check it out.
If you're ever nearby, treat yourself. This is the gold standard for huli chicken on the island.
Okay, aloha. Can I get a half a chicken? Sure. Thanks.
$10.
Mahalo. Okay, so here we go. We got half the chicken. Got to eat a little while it's hot. Coming in the plastic bag, not ideal, but oh well. Oh, hot. That is one of my favorite foods in Hawaii. Maybe my favorite. Come on, have some. Okay.
Okay.
So, The question is, can we use our own rotisserie and make something that's this good? Let's head back.
We're going to break down the whole process step by step. The first thing I notice is the sauce. It's got a honey amber hue to it, and if you look closely you can see lots of tiny red specks. The taste is sweet, but also deeply savory and with some tang. And of course smoky, but that's coming from the wood, not the sauce. Huli chicken was invented in 1955 by Ernest Morgado and Mike Asagi. They were the founders of Poultry Pacific. At a farmer's meeting, they hulied some chickens between two grills, and it took off from there. The marinade they basted them with was described as a special teriyaki sauce. Ubiquitous, of course, in the West, the word itself breaks down to the shine of the sauce, as well as the cooking method of broiling or grilling. 3 parts. Soy sauce gives the base of umami, about as much honey or sugar for sweetness, and some acidity to cut through in the form of sake or mirin, a sweet cooking wine. The question then is, what makes huli sauce a special teriyaki? In fact, put it in the comments below. What do you think the secret ingredients will be? The big difference is swapping pineapple juice in for sake as the acid. Also, ginger is a prominent flavor like usual in Hawaii. In my opinion, there's gotta be some spice, and the best options are sriracha or chili pepper water. You can watch our how-to video on that in the link in the upper right corner. And I can't prove it, but Morgado was second-generation Portuguese, and I can't help but think at least some of those red specks are from a signature spice in Portugal, paprika. First test run is with marinated boneless thighs turned on the grill. Now that I know the ingredients, I'm especially aware of the ginger and pineapple. Paprika may or may not be my own addition, but it works either way. This is delicious. I can tweak it a bit, but we know we've got the sauce right. Next step, these coals provide the heat, but it's not huli chicken without the signature flavor of the wood smoke. We've come over to the Kona side to gather what might be the single most important factor in an authentic recipe: kiave wood. These trees were brought by missionaries in the 19th century, and today line large swaths of coast on the dry side of every island. They're also a tropical member of the mesquite family, the type used in world-famous Texas barbecue. Pairing this bold and unique flavor with chicken is unusual, a Hawaii culinary contribution. It also makes for the most delicious white crystalline honey I've ever tasted. I'm getting some from my friend at the farmer's market to put in the marinade. A whole chicken takes at least 3 hours on the spit. The kiave wood provides an intense, dry heat, but for that long the skin would burn before it's cooked through. So either cut your chicken in half lengthwise like the pros do, or take some logs and make kiave charcoal with them to augment with a more sustained slow burn. Right here we're using macadamia nut wood from our orchard. It's easy to do at home. Cut the bottom out of a metal bucket and attach a grate. Start a fire until the wood starts to blacken, then cover the top and the bottom to create a low oxygen retort. The wood will slowly smolder at low heat all afternoon, and at the end you'll be left with light and flavorful charcoal. The final step before I set up the rotisserie machine is to make a wet brine. Bring salted water to a boil with aromatics like lemons, garlic, and herbs. Let it cool completely and soak the chicken for 12 hours. Then drain the brine and let it air dry, uncovered, in the fridge for 2 days. This seasons the bird and keeps the flesh moist and tender, even as the skin gets crispy over the open flames. We're using a solar...
Llama?
Poke, the most well-known Hawaiian food on Earth. It's Hawaii's marinated raw fish dish. We are going to take you through the whole process of how to make different kinds and break down what makes a Hawaiian style. Including the classic topping that can be found only in the islands. On our channel, we are on a journey to discover everything we can about the food and food culture of Hawaii. Check out our videos on huli chicken, kalua pig, and more. This is Eat and Be Eaten Hawaii. Aloha! Poke has exploded globally in popularity in recent years, mostly in the form of poke bowls. You can now find poke bars as far away as New York City and London. Like ceviche in Latin America or kinilaw in the Philippines, poke consists of raw fish cut into pieces and steeped in a marinade. In fact, the word poke is a verb, meaning to slice or cut into pieces. So you can poke whole fish like ahi, ono, aku, or you can also make poke with shellfish, crab, squid. In Hawaii, the basic construction is simple. The main ingredient is the protein, that's the fish or shellfish, and you can even use king ali'i mushrooms as the protein if you want. Next up is the sauce or marinade. Shoyu and garlic shoyu are some of the most popular. Also, spicy mayo is common. Then there's the add-ins like ogo seaweed, onions, edamame. And finally, there's the poke toppings. That's stuff like scallions, sesame seeds, maybe furikake, and you can also buy mixes in the store. We got the opportunity to go on a boat leaving from Honokahau Harbor on the Kona side, so we took it. We're going to spend 6 hours trolling off the coast, hoping to catch ahi, mahi-mahi, ono, or marlin. And then we got this heavy duty, if we catch anything. Someone will get in the chair and battle the fish.
So, this hand plays a big role. I tell you, put that palm right there. One is because we're fighting the fish, we get the trough, we're rocking. Take that hand and push down a little bit. So you feel that snugs up around your waist right there? Oh, yeah. Now it's nice and firm and not all rocky. Right. Also, if we're fighting the fish, heavy drag, we pull hook or break line, it's going to come back to you. It's going to be like that. So your hand's protecting you, stabilizing the rod, and it's going to guide all this line. So it's real fast, guide slow. You want to go nice and slow. If you go too fast, you make X's. Sometimes whenever the fish goes back out, the X's will catch on each other and pop. So it's called stacking the line. Nice and smooth. If you don't stack your line and you reel, we call it a high center. It'll just rise up and it'll claw, right here on this bar. So you actually have to pilot it back and forth and get a good stack. Okay. Stop, and back. Right.
The depth falls off pretty quickly around the islands, so soon we're at 7,000 feet. In addition to the fish or other seafood, a Hawaiian-style poke has limu, or seaweed, as well as sea salt and a topping that we'll get to in a bit.
Okay, so Hannah and I came down here north of Mahukona, and we're looking for some limu seaweed. And also we found, right there all along the rocks, there's opihi, which are little mollusks. And these guys are popular to make poke out of as well. You just pry them off the rock.
There's a tiny little Vana in there. It's so cute.
Cute.
A miniature Vana. Little tentacles right there. He's reaching out with them.
Here I'm getting some limu from the rocks to add into our poke. And that brings us to the final topping for an authentic traditional Hawaiian style poke, and that is a roasted nut relish called inamona. Inamona is made from nuts of the kukui tree, which is also called candle nut, and that's because the nuts are very fatty and would be dried and lit on fire and used as candles. The kukui tree itself is what's known as a canoe plant because it was brought over on the voyage in canoe by the Hawaiians when they first came from Polynesia. The entire process takes about 2 months, so let's go through it. First, you got to pick the nuts, wait until the husks blacken and fall off the tree, then you pick them from the ground, discarp the papery endocarp, and you're left with the shell. You're going to dry these on racks for about 2 months. But first, you want to fill a bucket of water and take the floaters out. Those are no good. Once you've gotten rid of those, you spread them on your drying racks. 4 to 8 weeks, they are going to be on there. At this stage, it's time to move over to the grill. You're going to roast the nuts shell on for 90 minutes or an hour and a half at about 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Flip the nuts halfway through so they don't burn on the grill. Then with a nutcracker, crack the nuts. The hard shells are going to explode right off it, and the meat inside is actually patterned like a kukui leaf. At this point, they have a warm, nutty, lovely aroma, and they're ready for the final stage of making inamona. Join the channel, and let's get back to inamona. Sea salt is the final main ingredient in a Hawaiian-style poke, and you need it to make inamona as well. The crystals in the salt grind down and mingle with the oils in the nut meat. Here are the salt pans, or poho pa'akai, at Kalaimano, close to where we set off for our fishing trip. For many generations, the crystals here have been harvested in natural and man-made basins, and today the area is a cultural and marine reserve. The goal is to crush the nuts and the salt together to release the natural oils. You can also add some dried seaweed for flavor. And the result is a nutty relish that you can sprinkle on the top of your finished product, which is poke, which is a masterpiece. Back on the boat after 6 hours of trolling, we came up empty-handed. The currents had moved out toward Maui and the channel lately, and it didn't work out. But it was still a lot of fun to be out there, and we learned a whole lot about how to make an authentic Hawaiian-style poke. We had a lot of fun out on the ocean making this video, so if you liked this and you want to see more videos of cultivars like this, you can check out our channel. Be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment and all that, and we'll see you on the next one. Aloha! Smoke meat is a classic here in Hawaii. We are going to take you through the whole process of how to perfect a homemade recipe. Starting with making your own smokehouse, we'll show you how to marinate the meat, what cuts to use, the temperature and how to work the smokehouse, and also how to finish it in the fry pan. This is the latest installment in our popular Hawaii recipes. Can we perfect a homemade recipe on Eat and Be Eaten? On our channel, we are on a journey to discover everything we can about the food and food culture of Hawaii. Check out our videos on huli chicken, kalua pig, and more. This is Eat and Be Eaten, Hawaii. Okay, so we are on our way up to Waimea, to Ace, to the hardware store.
The fire,
Oh yeah.
and then you leave the top closed so the heat keeps going up. Something small like this.
Our goal in these videos is to provide a full-on experience of the homemade recipe. So in this case, we don't have a smokehouse, so step one is we gotta make one.
Now we're gonna cut it.
This is EMT conduit pipe that we're using to make the skeleton.
Should fit now. Does it?
Pretty close. Pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah. Once we just.
Right, perfect, no?
EMT stands for electric metallic tube, and these are galvanized, so they'll last at least 50 years. And to make it as strong as possible, we soldered the EMT together. Since solder is an alloy, which is a combination of a few metallic elements that has a low melting point, so when it hardens, it creates a permanent bond. Of course, never look directly into it without safety goggles. For our smokehouse, we're making it 6 foot.
Gotta be on the money.
So that means the door is going to be 6 feet, and on the opposite side where the smoke comes out of, it's going to be up to 6'4".
Tripping out, it's getting done. Just sitting there rolling.
Where you left stone.
Hold everything this way. Which way is it going?
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
It's solid.
Yeah.
This is just a skeleton.
Next, we attached the cross mesh wire with a whole bunch of ties. That's what we're going to hang the meat hooks from.
Why don't you teach everybody how to make a smokehouse like this?
We drilled the corrugated roofing onto the skeleton and then measured out and made cuts to get it exactly to fit. And so about a day and a half later, the smokehouse was all pau and ready to drive out to our ag land. So now that we have our smokehouse in position, I am lighting a pretty massive fire inside. This is called doing a burn-in, and basically we're getting it so hot that it's going to burn off all of the paint that's on it, and then we're going to replace it with a high heat tolerant paint. And these cross pieces of roofing I threw right onto the fire to get them really hot because we are going to use them to catch the drippings from our meat.
We've got Rust Stop oil-based enamel. This is high heat paint, so now we're going to paint the shed with this, and then we'll be able to smoke.
With the smokehouse done, let's talk about the marinade.
Oh yeah, freshly ground turkey spices is the one way to do it.
This is the classic marinade in Hawaii. It's a variation on teriyaki sauce, so it's based on equal parts of shoyu, soy sauce, and brown sugar or some kind of sugar. And then the aromatics are garlic, fresh ginger root, and Hawaiian chili peppers. As long as you've got your ratio correct of 1:1, you can put your aromatics in however you like them. Pork butt is a really good cut to use, and we're cutting it into about 8-inch strips by 2 inches wide. Then you bag them up with the marinade and put them in the fridge overnight, 24 hours at least. Finally, the day to smoke the meat has arrived. This is kiave wood we're using to smoke, and that is what gives the signature mesquite flavor. Okay, so this is a clip from a video we made on huli huli chicken. Can you perfect a homemade recipe? And we had a section on kiave wood, which is a tropical mesquite that grows here in Hawaii all along the dry side of every island. It was introduced in the 1800s, and it gives that signature flavor. So that's what we are using in our smoked meat harvested from the shore.
Oh, we should have hung this first. Yeah, it smells like smoke all day.
Going. But there it is.
I mean, it's not terrible. It just makes you cry.
Yeah, it's doable.
It goes a long way in, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Long way in, and they overlap each other. And here's the second one. Yeah, that's smoke. But that is all good blue kiave smoke, giving us that lovely mesquite flavor.
Yeah. Kill some grass.
It's going to be at least 4, probably 5 to 6 hours of smoking and tending the fire. So in the meantime, we are going to get to doing some work in the orchard. Okay, it's been about 3.5 hours now, so coming into the final half hour here, what I'm going to do is just put our meat thermometer in, see if we are around about 145 degrees on the internal temperature. As you can see, that's about 106, so not too close to 145 yet. But you can see the impact of the smoking. Big time. Color, texture. They're a lot firmer to the touch now. Yep. So when we finally got there, temperature-wise, it had taken over 6 hours.
Yeah, they look great.
It was a low fire, probably never over 200 degrees Fahrenheit, if that.
Let's take them out.
See if I should have brought gloves.
Yeah. Alright, we're frying some up now, and then whatever we're not going to use this week, we bag up and put it in the freezer. The classic way to prepare smoked meat is in the fry pan with onions and oyster sauce. Garnish with scallions and enjoy. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment and let us know what you think of the video. Aloha!
Assembly line.
Yeah.